A thing you want to do when you're out hunting in Way of the Hunter is to get familiar with the different weapons and the tiers of animals. However, there is something very else that you also should be paying attention to when it comes to this game. And as long as you're not playing on Ranger, which is the hardest difficulty, you can use this. Your hunter senses. Up in the top right corner, whenever you scope in with your hunter senses active, you'll be given a shot analysis that is basically going to let you know exactly where your bullet is going to go. It's going to be the lower of the two red dots here, because we're shooting on a longer range than we are currently zeroed at, as well as if you change the zeroing, the red dot is going to change. So now, if I was shooting at this, it would go at the top of the more solid red dot on top. Another thing that you also should be trying to pay attention to is whenever you're taking down any animals in the game, you want to have your energy be yellow. Because if it is in the yellow, it means it's within the recommended for that species. If I were to take a shot with this gun that I was currently showing you, which is the 308, you will have to go somewhere in between these numbers that you can find in your encyclopedia as soon as you've either picked up a need zone or you picked up an animal of the species. You have to be within 1543 to 3705 joule. This is obtained by using the right caliber, basically, or the right gun at the right distance. This also does mean that, in fact, you can use bigger guns, but it does require you to be out on a further distance. Right now, if we were to pay attention, we're actually just changing it up to the 300 right here. If we were to pay attention to this one, we'd be having a way too high kinetic energy going in, which would damage a lot of the meat, and you wouldn't get as much meat out of your kill. However, if you were shooting out here, which is about the 700 meters out, you're looking at a completely different number. So if you're doing long range shooting with your 300, you can actually get within the correct kinetic energy, and then making this gun more suited for taking down whitetails than if you were to use the 308 that we started with. You all have to pay attention to the counter in the top right corner as long as you have your hunter senses active. This also means that you can actually go and pick up some of the smaller calibers and take down the bigger animals with, as long as you're in on close enough distance and can reach the kinetic power needed to knock them down. Obviously, it is a little harder because you're spooking quite a lot in this game, but at least if you're trying to match them to preserve as much meat as possible whenever you're going for the hard or the long shots, it does indeed help. Let's see if we take down a pheasant mature female right here. If we take him out with a 300 at a pretty close distance, I really hope that I can hit this. If I get a full hunt rating of this one using a way too big caliber with way too much power behind it, obviously hunt rating 1. So no, you should be trying to match it, and most of the times you'd be taking down a pheasant with, I would imagine some of you might try a 22, or most of you probably would be using a shotgun like I would do most of the time. But in general, start using your hunter senses when you're scoped in. It gives you a virtual dot that you then can follow, and you can change up and down according to your zeroing. As soon as you hold your breath, it's gonna go solid, and that is right where your bullet is gonna go. I do want to test it on a little more actual animal as well than the pheasant that we just blasted. We have a 3-star mature, actually I have 2, we also have a 4-star there. But the hope is that maybe he's gonna grow into something a little bigger. So let's take out that guy over there. And once again, go in, check out our encyclopedia, find out bighorn sheep, looking at between 1600 and 4000 joules. So once again, now we just have to match that. First of all, we have to get the dot to be on target right there. You can see up top, he's 123 out. We're zeroed for 150, so we're going to be entering the bullet a little higher than the middle of our scope or the reticle, and the kinetic energy is on point. If we go and change it to this one, which is the 300, it's going to be white. because it is not within the permitted range. We have about 580 energy too much. This again could be changed by simply moving back a little bit. But if we shoot him with this one, we're gonna ruin a lot of the meat, even if we're making a good shot, because we're simply shooting him with too much power. So let's just try that real quick. He's definitely not gonna be going anywhere, and all of the other ones are hopefully gonna be running off real quick. Had we shot him properly with the 308, we would have been looking at a lot more meat to sell, but also a little more trekking to do. So it's all down to what you want to do. Just keep in mind that you cannot get a full hunt rating if you're not within the kinetic energy of your target. Even though we're still getting a 3-star, we just ruined 2 of them, 2 of the stars, and you can see here how much meat just got wasted simply by completely decimating this guy. However, had these guys been up there at the mountaintop, the kinetic energy would have been within the recommended, and you could have shot him down with the 300. And one of our awesome users in Discord, Binge C, made this nice little spreadsheet so you can have a little idea of what kind of energy the different rifles are using, all the way up to 200, and see the kind of drop-off that you're also getting presented with. Hope this makes sense. Thank you so very much for watching.